What is the best example of just because you can doesn't mean you should? Do home chemistry. TL. Doctor of a long and stupid story. Second degree burns on my face. Blindly trusting traffic laws as a pedestrian. Yes, if you get hit it's the driver's fault. But all it takes is for one driver not paying attention to potentially end your life. You may have been right, but you're still dead is my dad saying for this situation. Most crafts on the internet. 5-minute crafts INTNCFS. I never feel as much solidarity with my fellow man as I do after I hate watch those videos and then read the comment section. Posting on social media that you're going on vacation. A high school friend of mine did that a couple of years ago. Multiple posts on Facebook announcing she and her husband were going to Bermuda for 2 weeks. They came home to a burgled house. There was actually an infamous story about this a while back. A couple of parents were taking a school to court over something I don't remember. It had something to do with their son. Well, the school was going to settle out of court for about $80,000 as long as the family signed an NDA about the outcome of the court case or any if the events related to it. Q to a week later, they were planning to go on vacation with the money, but they made the oopsie of telling their kids, and the oldest child, a girl at the age of like 17 or 18, decided to blab on Facebook about how her former school was going to pay for their vacation. Well, the school saw the tweet, forwarded to the lawyers, and suddenly the family isn't getting a dime. Me, contemplating buying an axe this weekend, so I can do some axe throwing in my backyard. Why? Because I can. You can get decent throwing hatchets for less than $50. Drunk calling your ex, or your boss, or my mom. Please stop, Derek. Name your kid idiotic names. I have a member of my extended family with 2 kids. The first kid, Connor, was allowed to name the second kid with no restrictions and named him Zipline. So there is a 4-year-old kid in my family tree named Zipline. Your cousin, or whoever, is a fucking moron for letting a kid pick the name of their other child. Fuck, that must be an entertaining reunion. Like I said above, I know a girl that did the same thing. DAUGHTER-2 is named Magambi because of it. Bullying is a big one. I tried to bully a person once, but they just laughed. Apparently I'm not a convincing bully. That's how I found out the bullying career is not for me. Competition was too tough at my school. In the end, I finished at victim side of things and required professional assistance of the teacher in order to enforce anti-bullying regulations. That device allowing an Amazon carrier to unlock and open the front door of your house to deliver packages. Either one of the self-professed genius tech brothers in Silicon Valley didn't think this through, or they're incredibly naive about how easily something like that could be abused. The dog walking company I work for uses this for when the owners aren't home. Not even a one-time code. It's the same code for every walker, unless the pet parents changes it. It's mind-boggling to me that so many people are super cool letting strangers with nice profiles into their homes. I could have taken stuff so many times. Never would, but sometimes I can't help but notice. On the flip side, in the back of my mind I worry that an owner could claim I damaged or stole something, and I get in trouble, since it'd be hard to prove I didn't. Edit. Oh dear gosh, what have I done? And I know it's innocent until proven guilty legally. I'm more concerned about the company choosing the owner's side, not really about legal action. It's just something I think about from time to time. Eating the whole damn pint of ice cream. My lactose intolerance says no, but my everything else says yes. Fun fact 1, if you're lactose intolerant, you can't digest some of the sugar in ice cream. So if you only look at it from the calories point of view, you can have more ice cream than people that aren't lactose intolerant. Fun fact 2, if you're lactose intolerant, you are definitely not only looking at it from the calories point of view. Bank loans and credit cards. Just because you're approved doesn't mean you can afford it. Credit cards are a gray area. For some people they're a bad idea because they'll keep accruing interest. If you're good at keeping up with paying them in full, you won't have a problem with them. Hoard toilet paper. Abuse your position/power. People who want power are generally the people who should least have it. I don't want this job. Hire this man immediately. He's the perfect candidate. That's how the ancient Greeks did it, kind of. Public service was actually seen as an obligation and responsibility. You would be appointed to perform it, and you had to, without seeking or even agreeing to it. Have more kids than able to handle, feed, clothe, spend time with, etc. Personal anecdote, I was with friends, and we were just hanging around having pizza. I'm challenged to put a bunch of different sauces and toppings on a slice of cheese pizza, because I'll eat any weird food when challenged. The gauntlet included sriracha, horseradish, honey mustard, cottage cheese, and whipped cream. I downed it and was sick for the rest of the night. No vomiting, but it was not fun. Never combine sriracha, whipped cream, and horseradish. Just because I usually have an iron stomach does not mean I should eat everything I'm challenged to eat. Commenting on Reddit, or commenting things like thirst, cheating, relationships, or just in general. I mean, there's nothing physically stopping you from eating poop, but why would you? Your taste buds and nose physically stop you from doing it, but a twisted mind does not care. Just because my asshole can stretch to 8 inches and a raccoon can go through a 4-inch hole, does not mean I should shove 2 raccoons up my ass. How else am I supposed to get them past airport security? This is kind of thing you need to remind Jake Paul every 5 seconds. Cloning dinosaurs. That's actually a you should. You must. Pulling out your phone and taking unsolicited videos/pictures of people in public places for the entertainment of the internet. Once had some girl take pictures of me, very obviously, then laugh to herself while I was having a panic attack on the train. It's definitely not a nice feeling. Just being quiet sometimes. My brother had passed away, I was out of country, so I had to return. In doing so, I went to a favorite restaurant that we both worked at as teenagers. Same hostess, most of the same coworkers even later. Upon leaving, one of the waitresses said, "Please tell your brother I said hi, he was so great." I just smiled at her and told her I would. Not to lie, but her comment was so innocent, and she was at work. No reason to bring up a tragedy and in turn make her feel bad. Disney making crap live-action versions of classic animation. Imagine a live-action Toy Story. I'd rather not. The film Cats, 2019. Cannibalism. It's actually legal, because no country in the world actually has a law against it. In fact, the laws were against you murdering someone, not eating them. If somebody slashed their own arm off with a sword and allowed you to eat it, you could. Should you, though? No. Sticking your dick in a light socket. Wait, what? Just because you can fight off 50 hamsters at once doesn't mean that you should. You're right. We should really have a round table and hear out the demands of the hamsters. Eating the entire packet of sugar cookies. It's a bad idea, trust me. Shit in the shower. Not vaccinating your kids. Exercise your freedom of speech in a library. It's surprisingly easy to fit a light bulb in your mouth, but almost impossible to remove it without it shattering. Own tigers. Being a huge pose like ripping open a homeless man's tent, or stealing someone's dog then covering it in cement and glue. Shooting video in portrait mode. Make things big text for no reason. Just because you can bombard kids with homework during quarantine, doesn't mean you should. Try growing a mustache in the US Army. Under Army Regulation 672(1) you can. If you are in any leadership position, good luck. That's weird. What does the army not like about mustaches? I think the best example is a Dimitri Martin joke about him riding a unicycle in college. He would ride his unicycle and think, "Oh look, I'm the only person riding a unicycle." When he really should have thought, "Oh look, I'm the only person riding a unicycle." Face tattoos. Manipulating weak minds. These are not the droids you are looking for. Smoking. But that nicotine though. Actually yee. Someone should take my money away from me. Buying a Bluetooth speaker to play in a backpack. There's a special place in hell for hikers and mountain bikers who do this. Yeah, I came to the mountains. so I could hear your shitty tinny music. Naming your child Chad or Karen. Good thing I have Brock for a boy and Grok for a girl.